Hey there, and happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for making the time to watch today's replay. Drop a comment down below and let me know that you did watch the replay so I can come back and thank you properly. Today, I want to talk about whether it's time to abandon your niche. So you've probably heard the phrase, the riches are in the niches. Now, for those of you who say niche, obviously that doesn't rhyme, but bear with me. What that means is that when you focus your niche, you'll have more financial success. Right? And we're going to talk a little bit today about why that's the case. But if you're feeling like there aren't enough people in your niche or that you're not attracting and getting enough clients, you may be asking yourself, is it time to abandon my niche? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, for those of you who don't know me or don't know me well, my name is Karie Price. I'm a brand messaging coach helping ambitious service-based business owners find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar. If you're joining me live today, please say hello in the comments below. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Helen. So great to see you guys here joining me live today. Thank you for being here with me. Now, Cheryl, I saw your comment in the messaging den that you were excited for today's topic because you've recently abandoned your niche. So if you're willing to share, I'd love to know in the comments below what prompted the change for you today. Because here's what I want to talk about, and I'm going to refer to my notes, make sure I don't miss anything. Here's how you know that at least it's a question that you want to be asking yourself, okay? Your marketing isn't converting. And you feel like maybe your niche is too narrow, right? Maybe there's not enough people that are interested in what you do. And so if you're starting to feel that way, if you're thinking, and I'll be honest with you, this a couple weeks ago, maybe it was early last week, I was part of a discussion in a group that I'm in where somebody was going through this exact dilemma. And so I actually have been meaning to talk about this for a while. And there's a very recent conversation that just occurred around that. So I'm going to share some of that with you today without disclosing any of their confidential private information. But if you feel like there's just not going to be enough people in that niche, you might be thinking, okay, well, do I need to broaden my niche or do I need to shift my niche, right? So you might be tempted to give up on your niche altogether or broaden it, thinking I'm going to cast a wider net and that means there's more people. Now, I'm just going to preface and be totally transparent with you. I don't believe that broader is better. And we're going to talk a little bit about why you actually have a better opportunity when your niche is focused, but we're going to talk about why it might feel like you're not attracting enough people and the shift and change that you want to make. Okay. So what I find that's happening, and in the case of this person that I was talking with last week in a group, it was the case for her. The problem is that likely your messaging is not attracting the right people, but I'm going to talk to you today about how to identify where the breakdown is happening and what you want to consider in tweaking in your message to attract more of those ideal clients. Or you're not speaking to them in a way that they care about. So it's going to come down to a messaging issue. Now, I'm going to read Cheryl's comment here as well, because this is another reason that might cause you to change your niche. Totally legit and valid. And so let's get into that real quick. So Cheryl says, I just wasn't happy. I love doing high-end design, but my life has become all about chasing the high-dollar client. And so many people are approaching me that want to work with me so badly, but they just aren't in a place to afford me yet. So I'm taking what I know and making it accessible to everyone. So, Cheryl, first of all, I love that you know you love what you do and you are looking to shift and change your market and who you are attracting. So two things I want to say, and part of what I'm going to talk about today, I think will help in a little bit more, help drive this home a little bit more. You need to look at how you value what you do. And yes, that will sometimes mean that people can't afford to work with you. Now, if you've decided that you can create a leveraged, lucrative business model that allows you to serve more people at a lower price point, I mean, that's definitely one way to go in your business model. But what I want to talk about mostly today is if you are after the higher end market or a more focused niche, you actually need fewer clients to make the same amount of money doing what you do. So that's a personal decision of, do you want to be able to help more people? And that means you charge less. That means you have to work with more people. Or do you position yourself with your message in a way that allows you to charge what you're worth, and people will find the money? I'm telling you right now, they will. I know people who've invested in $10,000 mastermind programs, and they're not making any money in their business yet because they felt like there was value enough in there. So that comes down to how you message what you do for people. Okay. But let's break down, in more detail. I want to walk through the steps of how to evaluate where your message is breaking down in terms of attracting people. Now, a lot of people talk about a marketing funnel, right? Now, for those of you who might be newer in business, it's, imagine a physical funnel. At the top, there's the most people, and you're sort of filtering them down into smaller and smaller group, ultimately down to a buying decision to become a client, right? I like to look at your marketing in terms of rings around you. So if you imagine that you're in the center working with your clients and you build out in the rings around you, I like to think of marketing as rings. Because, there's people all around you, right? And it's about drawing them in and getting very strategic about how you move people closer and closer to you, but they could be coming in from any side. So very similar to people talking about a funnel, but I talk about it in terms of a ring. Yeah, Cheryl says the brand spiral. Very similar. Yeah, very similar. So let's talk about where the breakdown is happening for you and what does that tell you about your message, okay? Okay, I just want to read caught up in Cheryl's comment. She says, absolutely, I've created that, but I'm keeping some details under wraps. Totally understand. You do not have to share anything with me here that you don't want shared publicly. It is all about scaling. But I'm going to work with the one-on-one clients that I want to work with. Awesome. That's great. So as long as you feel good about the business model that you're working towards and it allows you to do what you do and serving the people that you want to serve, that's great. I don't consider that a niche change. I consider that a delivery model change, by the way. So we can talk more about that, but your niche is who you serve, what you do for them, and why they should care. It's not how you deliver the service, right? Whether that's one-on-one or whether that's in a leveraged group program or anything like that, right? That's the how. But your niche, who you want to serve, why you're the expert for them, and what results they can get, that's the area that I really want to focus on. And that's where your message is going to help you the greatest. Because the more that you understand who the ideal client is that you're serving, the better you can target your message to attract them. Okay, so let's take a look at that. We want to speak directly to only those ideal clients we care about. So whether you think in funnels or you think in these rings or you think in the spiral, everybody on the outside of this is like the world, right? And you can't serve everybody. So as you start moving people closer to you or down in your funnel, you want to filter out the people that are likely to be your dreamiest client that you want to work with. You don't need to attract people that are not your dreamiest client, that don't want the transformation that you can offer them, that aren't going to get the results, right? This is a common problem I see a lot of people make when they're choosing a niche or they're tempted to broaden, is they think, oh, I'll just work with anybody. Well, you might get some anybody's to sign up to work with you, but if they're not the ideal client, they don't value the work that you're going to do with them, and they're not willing to do the work to get the results. If they don't get the results, it doesn't matter, right? because they're not a referenceable client. They're not going to give you a testimonial. You're not going to feel good about taking somebody's money and not getting them the benefit that they signed up for, right? So you want to attract more of the ideal clients into these rings the closer and closer and closer they get to becoming a client. Because I'll just tell you, if you've been in business for any length of time, you've worked with clients that are not your ideal clients and they're more trouble than they're worth. Tell me if you've been there. You've taken a client because it was money and you weren't as focused. You weren't really clear on who it was yet, and they didn't get it. And they either struggled doing the work or giving you what you need so you could do the work for them. They didn't get the results. They weren't happy. It's just not worth it. Yeah. Cheryl says they are never worth the money. Never. I totally agree. So why would you want to attract people that are not going to be the ideal client, right? So every step in your marketing plan, in your marketing funnel, needs to help qualify your ideal client. What does that mean? It means you need to be super clear about who your ideal client is so that you can speak to them, right? Okay, but let's talk about what to evaluate to see where the breakdown is and what that means about your message. Because when you look at the rings, when you look at the funnel, on the outermost layers, this is where you're just trying to like grab people's attention. Imagine for a moment like you're a planet in the middle, right? And all these people are zipping around in the atmosphere. You've got to get them to stop and want to get into your orbit. So what are you doing to stop and get them into your orbit? And then how do you move them closer and closer, right? Like drawing them in. So on the outermost edges is where you need to speak their language the most. It needs to be, to get their attention, they need to say, oh my gosh, she's in my head. That's totally me. And that's going to stop and get their attention, right? So what does that look like? When you start at the top, you look at what's getting their attention. This is maybe where you're putting out social media content. You're doing Facebook Lives, maybe not even your email newsletter, because that's inner ring. They already know about you and they're moving closer, right? But what's going to grab people from the outer edges to get them to stop and take notice? So that's likely the content you're putting on your business page on Facebook or on your YouTube channel, right? Things that are getting them to go, wait, I think she's talking to me. That's totally my problem. Now, if you're not getting people following you, liking your page, joining your group, that's like that first level where you start to capture them. Chances are you're not clear enough on who it is you're trying to attract and the very specific problem that they're having. What a lot of people will do is we talk about what we think our ideal clients need to know, but they don't care about that yet, right? That's totally inner circle stuff. Like as they get closer, you need to stop them, which means you need to meet them where they are, talking about what it is that they're struggling with right now and how it shows up for them. You need to get really specific. This is where the niche is going to help you, right? If you very specifically target working moms, they have the way that their challenges show up for them is very different from a self-employed woman that has no kids, right? If you're talking about juggling a full-time day job and still trying to get the kids to school and their activities, like I am a business owner with no kids. I don't relate to those problems, right? So when you get really focused on a group of people, you're able to get really specifically focused on how that problem shows up for them. That's what's going to grab them in the outer layers. So if you're not getting enough people interested in following you and learning more about you, chances are you're not focused enough and clear enough on who it is your ideal client is and all the things that you need to know about them, right? Hey, Linda. Hey, Deborah. So great to have you here. Thanks for joining me live today. Okay, Cheryl says, ooh, I like that. Okay, I don't know when you dropped that comment, but I hope that was helpful for all of you as well. Okay, so be thinking about what's going to stop them in their tracks, pull them out of that atmosphere, and start to get them to move closer to you. Now, I'm looking at my notes so I don't forget. All right. Now they are aware of you. What's the next thing that generally you want them to do? They're probably, you want them to subscribe to that YouTube channel, like you on Facebook, sign up for your freebie to get on your newsletter list. If you're using a messenger bot, you're getting them to subscribe to the messenger bot. So if they're not signing up to know more from you, what does that tell you? Well, that tells you that your message isn't clear enough to them of the value you're going to provide, right? So it needs to be value that they care about. What problem are you solving for them? What benefit are they going to get out of being in your circle, right? So if people are not signing up for your freebie, chances are it's either that the freebie title, the name of the freebie, isn't resonating, or the content of the freebie is not something that they care about. Okay, so that's how you can get them into the next level. And if it's not converting, you have more work to do to understand your ideal client and what they're looking for. What's the problem that they want you to solve? And what's the thing that they are going to start to come to you for to get more information? Okay, thanks for clarifying, Cheryl. She liked the orbit thing. Okay, good. Okay, so if you're not getting enough signups for your freebie, you're not solving, that freebie is not solving a problem that they care about. Because everybody knows when you sign up for a freebie, you're getting on someone's email list, right? So it has to be something that they are going to care to get more information about. So you need to get more clarity around that problem. Now, once you get to the next level, so let's say you've got a high value offer. So you've got like the freebie, maybe it's a cheat sheet, but then you nurture them into, maybe you've got a video, like a multi-part video series, like a mini training, free one, or you're doing a webinar, you're doing some sort of high value training that's going to get them more in depth. It could even be like your weekly Facebook Lives. Like I do a weekly Facebook Live and I let my audience know that. And people who come to watch it with me live every week or watching the replay are these valuable topics. But ultimately, if you have a webinar, right, like that's probably entering what is the thing that is the high value offer you have before you ask them to become a client, before you try and get the sales call or get them to sign up to work with you, right? If that is not converting, same thing. It's not solving a problem that they think they have, using the words that are going to resonate for them. Or it's just not positioned and messaged properly. The content can be great, but if you can't get people to sign up, they're never going to hear the content, right? So you've got to make sure that you understand your ideal client enough, your niche, your focused group of people enough to know what are they going to give you the 60 minutes, 90 minutes, however long your webinar is, or that they're going to invest the time in multiple videos with you, okay? And then if they're not converting to paid clients, two key problems. When you have, if you've got everything, they're like, you're getting them through the range, you're getting them closer, you're getting them through the funnel. When they're not converting, it's usually one of two key problems. You haven't positioned the value, or you've been talking to the wrong people the whole time. So when you look at all the marketing you're doing, the freebies, the high value content, and you get them to the offer, if they are not the people who would be willing to pay for the thing that you've positioned as a valuable transformation, a valuable solution to their problem, it's either a messaging problem or you've attracted the wrong people, which by the way is also a messaging problem. If you've grabbed people from the outside and you've moved them through the funnel and they are not the people that are going to work with you, you've wasted a lot of time and energy for yourself and for them on the wrong people. Yes, Cheryl says it's often that you're talking to the wrong people. That's a messaging problem. Because when you're putting content out there and you're inviting people to get to know you better, you need to be really clear about who you're talking to. And that's not coming out and saying like, hey, I work with moms. I mean, you could say that, but it's about speaking their language. It's about having the right words that the right people get attracted to. And everyone else is going to be like, oh, that's interesting, but they're probably not going to be compelled to get into your orbit, right? Cheryl says, I'm sitting here nodding my head. Who else? Does this resonate for anybody else? Hey, Tanya, so great to have you on with me live today. Because here's the other thing I see happening. People they spend a lot of time, money, and energy investing in programs, working with business coaches and marketing coaches to get the perfect funnel in place, and it doesn't convert, and they think, I need a new offer. I need to offer something different. Because I ask the people, I hear this a lot, you guys. I ask the people in my group what they wanted, and what they want is X. Now, again, two things here. If the group is filled with your ideal client, this is a great market research opportunity to ask them what they want, right? What's the problem they need to solve. But be very careful and make sure that the people that you ask that question of are the people that you want as ideal clients, like ultimately to convert to a client, right? Because let's just put it out there. If your group's full of freebie seekers, like people who want free information and are never going to invest with you, and I just don't mean like in your Facebook group, but it's even on your list. If you've attracted people that are never going to invest with you and you ask them, what do you want? You're taking information from the wrong people, right? You're getting your answers and you're trying to create an offer for people who aren't going to buy from you anyway. So you need to get really clear about who it is you're talking to. It all comes down to who are you talking to and how are you talking so that they know you're talking to them. Those are the people you want to know from. If your service offering, whatever it is you do, look, I'm assuming you're an expert at what you do, okay? I work with people that they've been doing this for a while. They know they're an expert. They're bringing their expertise from either a corporate job or they've been in business for a while. And their problem is they aren't attracting enough of the right clients, right? But you have to have expertise. Like you've got to be good at what you do, right? Otherwise it's marketing fluff. And this is why a lot of people really struggle with feeling like they're being sold to. Like, be brilliant at what you do and then learn how to market that, okay, through your message. And I totally lost where I was going with that. But, oh, yeah, I know. So I'm assuming you're brilliant at what you do, that you're an expert at what you do, okay? So your offer, whatever you do for people, is proven, right? You've done it. You know you can get people results. So the question isn't, does my solution give people results? Because you know it does. The question is, are you talking to the right people and letting them know that what value they're getting from you and helping them make that decision, right? That is a niche problem if you're not talking to the right people. And then it's a messaging problem, even if you're on the right niche. So I want to give you a couple of examples. So, it's just health coaches are, I hate to say this, health coaches are easy to pick on because so many of them stay very broad and general. And so what happens is you all sound the same, right? I can meet 5 health coaches or people in the health and wellness coaching industry. I can meet 5 people in the same day and they will sound the same to me. And so I don't remember any of them, right? So when you don't have a clear niche and a clear focus, and if I ask you, who's your ideal client so I can keep an eye out for you, and you say, I'll work with anybody, my answer will always be, I'll never refer anybody to you because I don't know how to find anybody, right? I am happy to keep my eyes open for people with a specific problem and a group, you know, like who your niche is. Specific group of people with a specific problem that they're looking for your transformation. Keep my eyes open for you all day long. But if you sound so generic and broad that that's not clear, nobody is going to stand out for me because I'm not going to remember you, right? Same thing's going to happen in your market. When you put your stuff out there, if it's too broad, no one's going to remember you. You're going to sound like everybody else. So you want to niche and focus. If you think your niche is too narrow, I want you to drop in the comments below if you think your niche is too narrow and that there are not enough people in your niche. Because chances are it's not true. How many billions of people are on the planet? So let me give you a couple stories of people that are like super focused niche and like killing it in their market. One of the companies is a travel agency. Now, if you are a travel agent or have thought about being a travel agent in the past, you probably have thought at one point in time, like, why would anybody pay me to help book their trip? Because there's sites like Expedia and Orbit, and people can book and create their own packages online, and the airlines offer packages, and places like Costco offer travel services, and all that's free. Why would anyone ever pay me for travel services, right? To plan a trip. So first of all, if that's what you believe, then it's true. If you believe no one will pay for you, then it's true, because you will market with that hesitation and the doubt, and you will not put information out there that will convince anybody that you're worth it. Okay. But for those people who truly believe that, there is a travel agency here in Texas that they work on super high-end trips. I'm talking like $500,000 trips. Now, if you said there is nobody that would ever pay $500,000 for like a luxury trip, then you're probably right. This travel agency is so successful, they're considering franchising. So there's obviously a market for it, but you have to know what your niche is. You have to know how to speak to them, what they're going to care about, so that they would come and do that with you, right? Now, people who want $500,000 trips, they are not wasting their time booking their own trip. So this is where the niche and focus helps you, right? Let me give you another example of a person who she's a business coach who specifically focuses on people who are dog walkers and pet groomers. Like, that's it. Only people, I mean, she speaks at other events because she's now gotten such success in helping her clients, but her niche, her focus is on people in the dog walking or pet grooming business. If those are your businesses, she's your business coach. And guess what? She has a pretty solid following and a great client base, because if you're in that area of business, if that's your industry, don't you want the person who knows your industry inside and out and knows the very specific challenges that you have as a dog walker or a pet groomer? She's able to speak very specifically to her niche and help them because she's willing to focus. I don't know very many business coaches that focus on industry that specifically, but she's killing it. So if you think your niche is too narrow, chances are it's not true. Okay. Cheryl says, okay, in my case, if I want to find people who have money to invest, so maybe my content should be about addressing the fears people have about working with a designer. Yes. Because if they have money, but they still aren't doing it, it's probably that fear that's stopping them. Okay. So Cheryl, yes, you want to find a group of people that have the money and are willing and able to pay for whatever you offer, right? In your case, design services. And let's for a moment assume you're going to stay with the high-end design services, right? Like they're going to hire you in a one-on-one, however much money that would cost them, right? So yeah, you're looking for a group of people who would be willing to pay for it. But there's so many different ways you can focus and niche that, right? There's a lot of people that have money that would be willing to invest in it. And the people who have money that don't invest in it, it might be fear. It might be that no one's proven to them that it's worth them spending their money on it. So what is the value they're going to get out of it? What's the result? What's the benefit that they care about, right? So as a graphic designer, you know the importance of brand and what that could do for them, and maybe positioning them in the market, help them look consistent. Everyone recognizes them, gives them a professional look, right? Who cares? Like, what is it that they're going to care about? Like, that's great. If I'm successful and have money without doing it, why would I invest in it? It's not always fear that's stopping them. Okay. This is one of the things I help my clients work through, is figuring out what it is that people care about and why they're willing to pay for it and why they're not. because it's very important that you understand that so that you can speak to it. But just saying, like, the people that have money, so a lot of people say they work with 6-figure business owners, let's say. That's great. There's a ton of them too, right? So who within all the 6-figure business owners on the planet do you want to work with, and why, and what do they care about? What is really the problem that they are having that design is going to solve for them, that's going to give them the result that they care about? Okay. Hey, Elizabeth, so great to see you. Thanks for joining me live today. Elizabeth says, I admit I've been part of this group and not active. How do I get my messaging to draw my ideal clients? Great question, Elizabeth. And everybody talks about this, right? If you've been invested in programs or work with a business coach, everybody tells you your message is important, because you can plug in any funnel steps. If your message is off, it's just not going to work. That's exactly what I help my clients do, though, is build the entire messaging foundation to figure out how to find the right words. You have it in you. You have the information in you. What you need is someone who knows how to pull it out of you and shape it in a way that your clients care about. And so you need to be relatable, right? Your message has to be relatable to your ideal client. I help you understand your ideal client in the way that's going to help you speak to them, so that you can create one-of-a-kind messaging that's actionable, that you can put into all these rings, into all the steps of the funnel, that gets them to take action moving through the funnel, right? So that you can reliably show up as the expert every time. I'm not going to lie to you. This is not an overnight fix. This is not something that I can sit down and say, here's the 3 things that you need to know about your ideal client, and your messaging is going to magically be better. It takes work. But if you do the work and you build this foundation, all the rest of that starts to fall into place. You know what to plug in to every level of those rings around you that draws those people in. In fact, I am doing a live masterclass this Thursday where I'm going to break down for you what the framework is that you need to understand in building your messaging foundation. So it's the 4-part framework to make your message roar. What are all the elements that you need to know that, one, will give you a competitive advantage in the market? So I'll explain why they help you stand out. But I'll also give you an actionable steps that you can start taking to develop them yourself. It's a 1-hour masterclass, so you're not going to learn everything, but it is the framework that I teach inside my program. So you're going to get a peek into that program to see if that's something that is the right time for you. Even if it's not, you'll at least start to understand what you need to be developing in your business, and I'll give you some actionable takeaways. So if you're not already signed up for that, there's 2 times to choose from. This Thursday, it'll be live both times. You can go to karieprice.com/roar and grab a spot. And I'm breaking that down for you because it's so important that you find the right words that attract the right people, which are your dreamiest clients, not just anybody. Right? So I'm going to break all of that down for you in that masterclass. So Elizabeth says, I understand that. I know pieces just need help picking the right steps. Yeah. Elizabeth, come join me on that masterclass on Thursday. If you can join either of the 2 times. I think it's 12 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. So pick the time that works best for you. Because it is a process, and it's an ever evolving process. So what I teach you is not just how to develop it the first time, because it's not a once and done activity, but I teach you how you're developing that so you know what to be tweaking and modifying as you learn more about your market or as you're switching your niche, right? Dawn says, is working with business owners in their first 5 years of business niched enough? I tried niching by industry that didn't like that. There's pros and cons to that, Dawn. It's not enough. It's a good first step in understanding your market, but you need to know why it matters that they're business owners in the first 5 years of business. Come join me on my masterclass on Thursday, though, and I'm going to break that down even more for you. So what you guys likely hear a lot of people talk about with the ideal client avatar is those demographics, right? It's a business owner in the next number of years of business, or they make a certain amount of money, or they're a mom who lives in Chicago suburb. Like, people try and help you create this avatar doesn't help you talk to them, doesn't teach you how to talk to them. So you're missing all of the rest of the messaging elements that are going to help you do that. So come and join my webinar if you haven't watched it in the past. I haven't offered it live, I think, since May. So come and check that out. Okay, Cheryl says, I just want to say this is super helpful. I'm so glad, Cheryl. I'm definitely going to pursue the scalable change I'm working on now, but this is also helping me with figuring out messaging to attract the right high-end clients too. Yeah, now the thing to be aware of with that, Cheryl, is when you have a scalable product that is typically going to attract people not in the high-end range, and you're talking to high-end clients, very different problems, and the way you speak to them are going to be different. So you're going to need to look at how you structure that, right? In the brand hierarchy, you know about the brand hierarchy. So you need to look at how you want to structure your brand hierarchy. If those are two, because the way you're going to message to those groups are going to be very different, right? To attract them from one to the other. Okay, Cheryl, you've got that. Awesome. Elizabeth, where do you sign up? Go to karieprice.com/roar and you can grab your spot. And I look forward to having you there with me live. All right. What other questions do you guys have about focusing a niche, figuring out if it's time to abandon your niche, if your niche is too broad or too narrow, which I'm hard pressed to believe there is such a thing as too narrow. There is definitely too broad. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, is that they think this isn't working. I'm marketing to this group, and since it's not working, I must need to broaden. And 9 times out of 10, that's not what you need to do. What you need to do is look at your messaging and why you're not attracting the people in that niche. Billions of people on the planet, hundreds of millions of people, even in a broad sense, that probably could use your help. Maybe even, let's call it a billion people, right? That probably could use your help. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that might be an ideal client, but focus in on the dreamiest clients. Look, if 100,000 people, if your niche is 100,000 people on the planet, can you realistically even help 100,000 people? Probably not, no matter how scalable your offer is, right? So focus in on your dreamiest clients that are going to get the best results. You're going to wake up every day and love to serve, like so much you almost would do it for free. That's who you want to attract to your business, right? Because I don't know about you, but I did not leave a lucrative full-time career to start a business to be miserable. I mean, I didn't hate my job, and I got paid very well to do what I do, but I wasn't inspired, and I had to do things I didn't love, right? I have the freedom and the choice to choose who I work with and draw those people in. Why wouldn't I do that? Why would I want to attract just anybody that is going to not be the right fit for me and me not the right fit for them, right? Because you don't want, so we talked earlier, it's not worth the money to have a client that's not the right fit. Like for you, from an energy perspective, they're draining, they're harder to work with, harder to get results. And when they don't get results, not only do you not get the testimonial, but chances are they're going to talk to people, or somebody might ask and say, hey, have you ever worked with Karie before? And they'll say yeah, and it didn't work. Well, it didn't work, maybe not because my process doesn't work, because I know my process works, right? Been doing this for 15 years, but they didn't do the work, and I can't want it for you more than you want it for you. I want people who want results. I want people who want to fix this problem, because if that's you, I'm in this with you 1,000%. Okay, I'm totally here for you to help you find the right words that are going to attract the right people. So why work with anybody else? All right. I'm going to stick around for just another 10 seconds for the delay in case there's any questions. Otherwise, like I said, go to karieprice.com/roar to grab a spot in my masterclass that's happening on Thursday live, two times to choose from, where I'll break down for you. First of all, I'm going to share with you 3 of the biggest branding mistakes that I see people making, and chances are you're making at least one of them, if not all 3, but I'm going to help you so that you can stop doing that. I'm going to break down for you all of the elements of your message that will truly help you stand out in your market, why they give you a competitive advantage, and give you an actionable step that you can start taking for yourself immediately. It's the exact framework that I help my clients through inside my premium program. So you're going to get a sneak peek behind the curtain of that. But even if you're not interested in the program, you're going to walk away understanding better how to take control of your message. Okay. If it is the time for you to finally fix this, though, by the way, I'm Thursday with my masterclass, I'm opening the next round of enrollment that includes my small group coaching, where I work with only a group of less than 6 people with weekly calls. So if you're the kind of person that likes more help, more accountability, and a weekly coaching call, this is going to be your last chance this year. I literally can't fit in anymore this year. So I'm launching that, opening that up on Thursday. So only 6 spots available for that. All right. Catching up on some comments here. Dawn says, yes, I have 20 mini bosses and I have to love them. Yeah. But your clients, they're paying you, right? And you need to wake up every day doing everything you can to help them and support them within the framework of whatever they've bought from you, right? Why not work with the people you're going to love waking up and supporting every day? So yeah, absolutely. All right, Helen says, all super helpful information. I'm so glad to hear that, Helen. I haven't started marketing yet, but good to know what I should be doing. Yes, awesome. And Helen, yeah, okay, I know you can't make the masterclass. I'm sorry the times don't work out for you. I will be working on a recorded version of that for later, so I can let you know. But I did see that you signed up for the Impactful Introduction Intensive. Super excited to help you there. 5 days, you're going to see amazing improvement in your message as well. So I have a 5-day mini course, and Helen, I'm super excited to have you join that. Okay, you guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. If you're watching the replay and you hung out with me all the way to the end, thank you again so much. It's not too late to get your questions answered. So drop those in the comments below and I will come back and answer every single one. And in the meantime, oh, Cheryl says, what is that? Cheryl, you can go to impactfulintroduction.com. Do I have that URL? I do. Yeah, you can go to impactfulintroduction.com. It's a 5-day mini course that I offer. So yeah, definitely go check that out. And let me know if you have any questions. Just message me if you do, okay? All right. Oh, Cheryl, I would love to have you in the 5-day mini course. That would be great. Okay, you guys. That's it. Sign up for that masterclass if you're able to on Thursday. Again, that's karieprice.com/roar. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week. I forgot to look up what the topic is for next week, but if you're not already getting notified via Messenger what my topics are every week and you would like to, you can go to karieprice.com/notify me and I send out, my bot sends out a message to you in Facebook Messenger an hour before I go live every Tuesday, so you know what I'm talking about, and you can decide if you want to join me live or catch the replay. So I'll see you back here next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, don't settle for sounding like everybody else. Make sure you stand out, you get heard by your dreamiest clients. Make your message roar. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.